Good morning, this is the bulletin video for CPI day, which is Tuesday the 14th of November. We've got quite a bit of green that the herd was short already on indices. They've added shorts, so it gives it a bullish bias. However, we have to note that the technicals did dump quite a bit because we were in the high 80s yesterday. We're now 68, and the reason for that dump is because we declined a little bit on the S&P and Nasdaq and Apple. The 10-year Treasury yield pumped, and that helped the dollar yen. And also note that the VIX really pumped as well. So a bit of a strange mixed day yesterday. When you think where the VIX would move so strongly, you think that these should have come down a little bit more. So I wonder whether or not they're just being buoyed up, and they don't really want to cause like a sell-off potentially. And technically the S&P's got a little bit of resistance on a daily and weekly time frame. Okay, so it's going to be a big day today, and I think there's going to be buy the dip opportunity if it falls. So don't worry so much, you know, if you've got a long bias on indices, because they're going to inevitably be a buy. If they fall today, it's just presenting a better lower opportunity to buy. And what you want to do ideally is wait for this to get nice and low, and then you're looking to buy the dip. Okay, so probably maybe don't look for longs now, wait for that to get a bit lower. Depending on this remains green, then you're looking for longs. Okay, and a little bit of a subtle movement from last week is that AU slightly more of a sell, EU slightly more of a sell, DAX slightly more of a buy, and dollar yen slightly more of a buy. You can just see the subtle changes in the color in that hue. Okay, and that's today's takeaway. Is today's takeaway from last week. Okay, so this is how we are compared to where we were last week. Okay, using the sentiment from FXCM. QDB scores, GCEC dollar yen. I've been saying look out for dollar yen because it's always in the top half, and we've got a little bit of weakness in the Kiwi and a little bit of weakness in the CAD there as well. It's worth noting that these up here should have positive scores, these down here should have negative scores, and that's fine. They've got negative scores. However, the one thing that is sticking out a little bit is AJ, and you know, we probably could be green there because it's got a good score. I think we had a little bit of an increase on the score change, so that could be positive. So you could look for buy the dips perhaps on AJ. And they've gone long New Zealand dollar for some weird reason, not quite sure why exactly, and they're selling the dollar slightly as well. Then, so we talk about the robot. So we had lots of success yesterday, very happy. AU trades went to profit, which is great, and it triggered GU late last night, which I think is a glitch. So we'll have to keep an eye on that if it happens again, because we have to wait for the bubbles to deviate across 10%. So we give it a time component, and there's no way it would have deviated 10% in such a short space of time. So I think this is a glitch, so we have to keep an eye on that. So we shouldn't have triggered it, and we're going to get stopped out soon actually, so that's fine. We're only using testing, but that's a bit of a strange one, so we have to keep an eye on that. It might just be a one-off. Hopefully it is just a one-off. It shouldn't have triggered that one. Okay, and AU should be okay as well. And note that the dollar yen, this strong daily channel, is ridiculous. And so we've got two respects there, few respects there, one there. And you see we've got like a pretty decent channel, very strong, and a lot of the retail guys would be selling into this uptrend. And they're possibly waiting for the BOJ to intervene. That's why they're selling this, but they might not. They might wait for. They might have to wait for this to breach. You know, what is that level? Oh, we're coming close to it, aren't we? So 152 basically, and we're going to possibly breach it because technically it's pumping. Okay, so be careful, and a little bit of care with the GU as well. That shouldn't have happened. I'm not sure how I would fix that if it keeps happening, unless of course I just switched off the robot. So we'll keep an eye on that, and if it triggers like it does tonight at midnight, then we'll just simply deactivate the robot from 11 PM to maybe like 4 AM or something like that. So it will go to sleep basically, you know, during Asia, because we can't have these rogue trades, these rogue signals occurring. So we can't have a glitch. So that's what I think we'll do. So if it happens again, we'll just simply put the robot to sleep overnight, and it just won't trigger it. So that's a good one to. It's a good solution. So we'll have a look at the indices in gold, and we'll bring this across. Gold. Now every time it's rallied, it's come into SLC and a descending MA on H4. On the 20, MA hit it there on the nose, and it hit it there on the nose. So it's strongly technically descending on the moving average, and each time it does pump to the MA, it takes that stop loss cluster, pump to SLC and resistance, and it's likely they're going to buy it here, and so we can fall a little bit more because it looks like we're going to get the risky sell. It's risky sell because we're below 50%, but it looks like they're going long, so be careful there. S&P. Under what the CPI has today, it'd be very interesting today, very sideways, so it could be waiting for CPI. Nothing to comment on there, okay, so there's no directional clue whatsoever until we get the crossover. It's fairly the same, it's going to be the same. Remember the S&P has got strong resistance on the daily time frame, and DAX. So it'll just be a fairly quick video really. I'll be back in the Discord for the CPI and to see the reaction and price, and we'll have to look at the federal funds rate as well, and to see the probabilities of a December hike or pause, because it's going to change today based on that CPI. So I'll report back in the Discord with that analysis, and we can see if it's going to be more likely we're going to get a pause or a hike, or maybe even a potential cut down 2024. There might be some information that we can see where they're going to actually indicate a cut, and that'll be really interesting. If so, then the dollar's probably going to weaken quite a bit, so be careful with the dollar. And we have got some dollar trades running on the robot, and we've got this rogue GU trade that shouldn't have happened, but if it happens again, we'll simply deactivate the robot and I'll switch it on early in the morning, so it's not really a problem. So like I said, that shouldn't have triggered, so we probably might get stopped out on that, which would be annoying, but that's just one of those things we're still testing, aren't we? So remember to trade safely, and I'll keep an eye on the robot and I'll report back later.